Good morning. I'm Kenneth Griffin, and I'm running for governor of the state of Texas in the year 2010. Yep, that's about 2.5 years away, but it's not really enough time for me to do what I need to do. If you're not from Texas, then maybe one of the very first things you're asking right now is, why the hell do I care who's governor of the state of Texas? Well, let me give you 3 very good reasons. There are many aspects of the platform and many things that I want to achieve as governor of Texas, but the 3 most important things that I'm looking forward to are, I plan to eliminate federal income taxes in Texas. Pretty big deal, huh? I plan to eliminate property taxes for single-family residences that are owner-occupied. And best of all, I intend to get the price of gas down to $1.50 a gallon or less. Now, quite frankly, few if any of these things are going to be possible to achieve just in Texas. Because if Texas has no federal income tax, then why can't California or Colorado or Alaska and Wyoming? The question is they can all have this. We can all achieve this. But there has to be a leader. And Texas is just the perfect place to go. So no matter where you live, if you can help me, it would be a wonderful thing. And I can assure you that you will benefit even though you may not live in Texas at the present time. What we're doing here today is we're discussing or doing a small little video, less than 10 minutes, just to give some time for you and me to talk on a one-to-one basis. I want you to see who I am, what I think, how I come across. I want you to have the opportunity to look in my eyes, if we can do that. I want you to know me and what I'm thinking. So we discuss a number of subjects, and I want to get your opinion on them. And if you'd like, you can go to our website at www.texasgovernor2010.com, and you can put in comments, you can make donations, you can do credit card things. There's all kinds of things. You can give me ideas. And there's even a phone number there where you can get a hold of me if you want to talk. So today, for this particular video, the subject that I'm kind of going to talk about is 9/11. Of course, we all know what that is. New York, the buildings came down, and of course, who did it? Was it the terrorists? Was it the government? Was it the CIA? Was it Israel? Well, actually, I'm not going to tell you who did it, because if I did, you're either going to agree or disagree. I'm not here to create controversy. I don't want to do that. It's very easy to see who did 9/11 on the internet. But here's something that I do want to do. I want to tell you about a couple of things in history that maybe you're not aware of. And again, like all the videos that I do, what I'm about to tell you is a fact. They're not opinions. It's not somebody else's opinion. It's not my opinion. These are historical facts. You know, in school, we're not always taught the truth. If I ask you who killed Abraham Lincoln, I'm sure that almost every single one of you can say, well, it was John Wilkes Booth. All right? Well, that's great. You know, but how many of you can tell me why John Wilkes Booth killed Abraham Lincoln? If you knew why he killed him, you would know more about history than what you do. Remember that history was always written by the victors. So if I'm the victor and I'm writing history, well, I'm going to write it to make me look good. Let me tell you something else about history that maybe you don't know. Do you know that the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor in World War II? Of course you do. It's a stupid question. Everybody knows that. But now tell me why they attacked. Well, you didn't learn that in school, did you? Okay. Let me tell you why they attacked. At that time when World War II was being fought, the Americans didn't want to enter into the war. But the administration, Franklin Delano Roosevelt and his cronies, I guess you'd say, did want to enter. So they realized that since Japan and Germany were allies, if they could get Japan to attack us, then we could attack Japan, and then we could attack Germany. Remember, nobody wanted to go to war. So what happened? What did Franklin Delano Roosevelt do? Well, he put an entire naval blockade around Japan so they couldn't trade. He froze all of the monetary assets of Japan throughout the United States and all of our allies. And what else did he do? He gave big, huge, tremendous loans to all the enemies of Japan. Well, what are you going to do if you're Japan? And yes, it is true that we broke the code for the Japanese code about 2 months before the attack was actually done. The ships that were in Pearl Harbor were actually moved there from California. In other words, what I'm telling you is Franklin Delano Roosevelt arranged for Pearl Harbor to be attacked. He did that. Okay? And again, don't get mad at me. This is history. This happened. Read some books. Look it up. You'll see. It was talked about for a long time, but now we recognize it as history. Well, maybe that's just one isolated incident, right? No. Almost all wars were started this way. What about the Vietnam War? If you're paying attention to the news over the last couple of years, you may have heard Robert McNamara talk about the Gulf of Tonkin. because the Gulf of Tonkin was the incident that made us send troops into Vietnam to attack them, because supposedly in the Gulf, one of our ships was attacked by PT boats from Vietnam. And if you paid attention to Robert McNamara, who I think at that time was Secretary of State, don't quote me on that, said recently, well, we made that up. That never really happened. You made that up, and how many millions of Americans died in the Vietnam War? Okay, there's two now, right? Vietnam and World War II. Well, maybe that's just the only two. No, it's not. World War I was the same way. Woodrow Wilson, the sinking of the Lusitania. We were shipping war materials to England through this ship called the Lusitania, and the Germans knew it. And so the Germans even put ads in the newspapers in the United States, and they were successfully pulled out of the newspapers. They weren't allowed to be printed, except they couldn't get to one of them. So one of them was printed, and we know this to be a fact. The Germans put an ad in the paper that said, hey, don't ride on the Lusitania, we're going to sink it. And so they did sink it. Okay? And so what happened? When the Lusitania was sailing from the United States to England, the English government ordered all the escorts away from the Lusitania. They ordered the Lusitania to sail on half speed, and they ordered it to sail in German sub-infested waters. They knew what was going to happen. They did that on purpose. Okay? And we can go on and on and on. So here's three more. You could go to the Spanish-American War and see, remember the Maine. Who sunk the Maine? It happened there also. If you look at all of our wars, they're done through deception. As a matter of fact, there's a prominent secret spy agency for a particular country whose motto, it's kind of like the CIA, but it's not the CIA, whose motto is war through deception. So what am I telling you? Why am I telling you this? What does this have to do with the government or the governor of Texas? What it has to do with is you're thinking, or what we're discussing is the caliber of our politicians, the integrity and the honesty. The politicians that we have now will kill thousands, if not millions of people for what reason? Well, for money? Yeah, I think so. I think that's what we're discussing. I believe that there are things that are more important than money. And one of those things is truth and justice in the American way. You know, it sounds corny, doesn't it? But it's true. I think the truth is pretty important. Because quite frankly, tell me something, tell me anything of value that has worth or integrity if you don't have the truth in it. We have to have the truth. If you want an honest politician, if you want somebody who cares about you, regardless of how much you care about them, and no matter where you live in any state, okay, I'd like to get your support. Go to my website. I'm Kenneth Griffin. It's at www.texasgovernor2010. Look at it, make some donations, send me an email, contact me, and most importantly of all, get this video to your friends. Get them to watch it. That's it. I hope I hear from you soon. Have a good one.